All right, Coach, a sweeping performance over the Aggies this weekend. Your team came up big in games 2 and 3 to get the win. Just talk about the overall series.
Well, great series for us. You know, we've struggled with Cameron the last few years, so it was nice to be able to end up on the winning side with them. And you know, 3 really good games. I was very happy with our team in game 1. Their pitcher Bright, we haven't hit her very well the last few years, so to be able to go out and jump on her, and I think we scored 5 on her in a couple of innings, so that was very nice. Hit some balls hard, hit some line drives. Avery Gunther had a big double. That was a great way to start the series. There's no doubt about it. And then Cheyenne Floyd and her defense, you know, got the shutout. So got that 6-0 shutout to start game 1. To start the 3-game series was huge. And then game 2 was just one of those back and forth. You know, they scored in the first, we answered in the first. They scored in the top of the second. We answered again, made it 2-2. And they scored again, I think, in the third, made it 3-2, and then got another one, made it 4-2. And then Keeley had a huge home run. You know, had the wind blowing in 20, 25 all day long, and she hit an absolute missile to dead center to get it out of there. To close the gap and give us a chance there in the 7th inning to come back and tie it up with the, you know, our freshman Leilana. She's having a great year, and that was a massive at bat. Had a triple to lead off the 7th inning. You know, we're feeling really good. We got Tatiana and Keeley coming up. Tatiana struck out and Keeley popped up, and it was like, oh no. But you know, Zoe had a huge at bat, got into a favorable count, and then got her a pitch and roped a double into the gap to tie it up, and then scored it on the Abby Gunther laid down, or Abby Brand laid down a really good bunt there in the 8th, and took advantage of an error. But no, big win there. And then game 3, you know, another battle, and we didn't hit the ball for a couple of innings and got the massive win, 1-0. And it was huge for Tori Hogan to go out and throw a complete game shutout on senior day for us.
And then you kind of mentioned a few of the athletes, but you have so many athletes showing up in big moments. You know, Floyd on the mound, Brand, Applin. What does that say about this team on any given day that one of them can show up big?
Well, when you can pitch and when you do play defense, it's hard to lose. You know, they can't win if they can't score. And you know, we've been very consistent in the circle all year. We haven't given up runs, a massive amount of runs to anybody all year long. So, you know, when you can do those 2 things well, then it's hard to beat you. You don't have to hit a ton, which we haven't. You just have to hit enough. And you know, we're sitting here at 32-11. And that's why, when you're good in the circle, you know, I think you can look at our baseball team last year winning the national championship. Well, they were good on the mound, and you know, and they had those 2 guys that could go shut you down at any point, and rode those guys in the playoffs. And hopefully, that's what we can do here down the stretch and going into the playoffs. But when you can pitch and play defense, it's tough to lose. And I'm just proud of the team, the fight that we showed this past weekend with Cameron, a good Cameron team. Scrappy Cameron team, and they put some pressure on us. They hit the ball, they had runners on base, but you know, we did a lot of things really well to keep them off the scoreboard.
And then my last question, hosting International this weekend for y'all's last home series of the season, what does this team need to keep an eye out for this week in practice to get the win?
Well, you only got one practice. It's today and, you know, Monday, and it's going to be short and sweet, basically just to, you know, get some reps in and get some ground balls, fly balls. You can't overtax them when you got 3 games coming up the next 2 days. So it'll be the basic stuff. You know, we know International. We've already played them twice this year. We've played them a lot over the years, and Coach Libby does a great job. Even though their record's not where he wants it to be, they're going to come in here and fight and scrap and compete and give you everything you want. So we just got to continue to do what we do best, and if we can, hopefully we can get 3 wins. That would be huge. To go 35-11 going into a tough rest of the month with road trips to Lubbock Christian and road trip to West Texas A&M. So, you know, hopefully we can take care of this weekend and get 3 wins, but we gotta take it one game at a time. There's no doubt about it.
Coach, midweek series are never easy, especially after you just played all weekend. How do you get the girls ready for that short turnaround? Is it one of those where, like, hey, they just never completely get out of focus and they just stay locked in, or give me your opinion on that?
I don't know that I have the answer to that. You know, it's probably each kid's a little bit different. You know, we had Sunday off, which is huge. It wasn't a Saturday, Sunday thing. We didn't have to change the schedule. So we were able to play Friday, Saturday. So yesterday, with the off day on Sunday was, there's your rest day, and then today it's back to class. And that's what people forget is these girls going to class and doing homework and papers and all that kind of stuff too. And some of them are nursing kids, and so it's a lot. So we value their time off when you have this kind of schedule that we have. So it'll be short and sweet today. Get in the weight room for a short period of time, and then get ready to get after it tomorrow afternoon. And they're going to be in the classroom tomorrow before the game. So it's one of those deals where it takes a lot of self-discipline out of the players, out of individuals, and that's what we talk about more than anything. Is you got to make sure that you don't procrastinate, because there's no time in the spring to do that, or it'll catch up and bite you in the tail in the classroom. So, you just kind of pound on being self-disciplined as an individual and taking care of business, and this group has done a great job of doing that.
And you talked earlier about how if you can pitch and play good defense, you're hard to beat, especially as we get closer and closer to the playoffs. We know Cheyenne Floyd's has had a great season so far, but if you just, who is another pitcher who's really stepped into her own in the circle?
Well, Avery Gunther had a massive relief performance in Game 2 and gave us some quality innings, and then at the end, she was starting to get worn down just a little bit. She's not a player that we pitch a ton, because she's also our third baseman, and she hasn't thrown a lot in a while, but she gave us, I think, 4 1/3, and then we got into a situation where there was we tied it up, and it was like, okay, they're starting to get to Avery a little bit, and it's that 4th, 5th inning for her, which she's not comfortable in. We've learned that over the course of the season. So it was time to go to Maddie Walco and bring that off-speed stuff, and it works. It's one thing to have 5 pitchers that you have available, but to have different varieties and different speeds is so much fun to work with as a coach, and it's fun to watch and utilize them and let them go out and do what they do best, and they don't have to do it for a long time. They just got to go out and be really good for an inning or two, and then we can follow up with somebody else. So it's fun, but Tori had a massive, that's her best outing of the season yesterday, and luckily it happened for her on senior day, so that was very rewarding. That's the one thing, our 4 seniors all had great weekends. Keely, had the lead off, or not the lead off, but had the first RBI of the game, got us on the board in the first inning of Game 1, and then hit the massive home run in Game 2, and then picked off a critical runner in a 0-0 game in Game 3. Picked her off at first, and Katie Burris got a lot of playing time this weekend, found her way on base with some hit-by pitches. Ashton Durner probably had the best weekend of her career. I think she ended up about 5 for 7 with a home run and a couple stolen bases and the game-winning run in Game 2. And then Tori that goes out and throws a complete game shutout. So maybe tomorrow and Wednesday needs to be senior day again. We may maybe senior day every week, every game.
Thank you,
Coach.
Thank you.